Sound resumed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us. We're going to be seeing some CA action this evening. We've got God's Hammer versus zFg. And joining me for the first time tonight as our co-caster is Peter Senshi. How's it going, dude?
Okay, and you, buddy.
Not too bad, man, not too bad. So, amped for the game?
Yeah, dude, I'm keen, always. I'm actually quite keen to see what these two teams are going to do to each other and say to each other. For anybody that's watching, this is a friendly CA game that was organised on the Quake Live Facebook page, so if anybody is keen to do anything similar in the future, you know, just always drop us a message, post it on Facebook, and maybe we can have you guys do the stream here.
And thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm actually pretty much looking forward to this. This should be quite interesting. I see zFg are just busy warming up right now. Do you know if the guys have discussed anything about maps?
I don't think they actually have. I'd actually like to ask them how many maps they want to play. You know, maybe if we can squeeze out 2 maps instead of just maybe a single map, that'll actually be, you know, quite time-worthy. You know, a single map just feels a little bit too short.
What is this only a single map?
I'm not
one.
sure actually.
As far as my knowledge goes, it's a best of one, but we can always modify it.
Oh,
No one's a
I
best
didn't-
of 7.
I didn't realize. Okay, I suppose. Sorry, I just didn't know.
No, I don't blame you. You know, with all the DGL action and TM action we've got going, you know, one sort of assumes that it'll always be a best out of 3 or a best out of 5, you know?
Yeah.
I'm so used to it, it's rare to see just a single game being played.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that. But nonetheless, some CA action, and we've got some pretty big names here this evening. I mean, just looking at who's going to be playing so far, who's on the server at least. We've got Null, Undead, Void and Clipped for God's Hammer, for zFg, Pete, Burton, George Quake, and God.
Give God, yeah.
Yeah,
I actually quite
it's
like
an
that.
interesting name.
That is actually a very cool nick if I have to say so myself, you know, I mean, it's probably not as good as Senshi, but I mean, it comes pretty close, to be honest.
Is there enough room for you and the microphone?
I think you guys need to step outside so I can have the area for myself. That's why they make maps like Dreadworks, you know, for people like me, so I can fit.
Oh man. Anyway, I'm pretty much, I'm pretty stoked that this is going. We should hopefully be seeing some gameplay soon.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on Void to join Red as well, and if I can convince them to do maps.
So, do you know if God's Hammer's played any previous CAs or clan matches or anything together already? I mean, obviously it's a fairly new clan, and they have just registered for the DGL. So, with the names they have in their lineup, I expect some good results from them. I mean, challenging the Endices and the Ecstasies right at the top.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll see more of them in the future. As far as I'm aware, God's Hammer has actually been around for a while, but really been inactive. As far as I understand, it was started by Lynchpin, and I actually can't remember the other starting member. And you know, sort of since Lynchpin's had some issues with his account and stuff, it's really gone a little bit dormant. And they've actually sort of kicked it up again a couple of months ago. I believe this is their second actual game they're playing against another team. The actual formal game, not just like an informal game. So other than that, I haven't actually seen much of them, to be honest.
Okay.
I know they play in their lineup. They've obviously got a lot of active players. I haven't seen much of Calypt over the last few weeks, but I know that Undead, Void, and Null have been playing quite a bit the last few weeks.
I am pretty psyched to see Undead playing again, I have to admit myself. It's pretty cool to see such an old school player come back and grace us with his ungodly aim. So frustrating to play against that guy.
Yeah, no, I actually agree. I'm actually quite good friends with Rob, and when I saw him the other night, I actually gave him a call and said, it's a good thing to see you back. He's the sort of person that I grew up watching demos of. When I started playing Quake, and I followed the local scenes. He was the sort of person I downloaded demos from, and it's just so awesome seeing a person that's was reached such heights in our community, coming back. And it's sort of like riding a bike. You can just see him, getting right back into the saddle. The aim is right back up there, and you can see from constant playing, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, Alvain is Calypt. Okay. Alright guys, our host just informed us that Calypt is actually called zDrag. It's one of these aliases. He actually plays for nAvGaming Counter-Strike, so he's obviously been active, just not maybe in Quake.
Pretty interesting. A lot of, there's plenty of Quakers or cross-platform gamers between the two titles. I mean, Steven's CSGO player, you played a couple of, I'm sure you played CS competitively?
I did actually play 1.6 and CS Source, but it seems we're actually going live with this map. So,
here we go.
Oh, and some trash talking right at the start of the game. This is going to be funny. Always. Some trash talk from both sides, and we've actually got a lot of action going on. Both teams just dishing out the punishment so far. I'm actually just watching the zFg players. Both teams actually having one of their guys go down very quickly, and it looks like zFg are just down to one player.
That one player is raining down all sorts of hell though.
Yeah, no,
I'm quite amazed he survived that long.
Yeah, he's actually done quite a bit of damage this round. Hasn't managed to pick up any kills yet so far, but let's just switch over to the GH players.
Fortunately, he goes down to that rail.
Very interesting, I must say. Just dueling it out in the middle of the map.
Look, Calip's sticking around bridge and really raining down hell with those rockets, but going to Bjorten's algae there. Bjorten taking down Undead as well. It looks like he's going to take the round here. zFg take the round really well played. Solid push on bridge there.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1, fight.
That's awesome. Some more trash talking from the zFg side. Like you said, the rounds have evened up, and it looks like GH are actually going to take this round quite quickly as well. Lots of damage coming down on both sides. It just seems like it's just repeat left. He's actually got quite a good stack still though. He does take a rail, and another one. And he actually just gets owned. Very funny spot he was struck in, but looking at the scores of players, this is actually quite even.
2, 1, fight.
You wouldn't think it, but for the names that they have, or for the, I don't know, the sort of expectation their name carries, perhaps they're just not CA players. They're strong aimers. Yes, they can duel, definitely, but perhaps CA is just not their mode. But it's proving otherwise here at the moment. They seem to be putting on a pretty solid performance, so just completely taking advantage of that aim.
I must say, I'm actually I'm quite enjoying watching the God's Hammers players, meeting up at bridge / red armor. You can see that it's been working well for them so far. It seems like they're sort of going with a 3-1 strategy where they've got one guy, flanking, which seems to be Calypt at this point in time, and just the other 3 members sticking together and doing lots of LG damage. And Spotan actually manages to take down Spaceman. This is a 2v2 scenario.
Yeah.
I'm actually just watching Undead at the moment. He's very low. He's definitely available. He actually does back off from engaging Fulton, so it seems like they are backing off a little bit. Oh, what a rail!
Fantastic shot.
What a rail! And it's 3-2 at the moment, and zFg pull a round back. Once again, you can see the 3-1 tactic working very well for God's Hammer there. Your 3 guys working together as a team, and Calypt being your flanker, coming around the side doing lots of damage. He does actually go down that round, and it's just Spaceman left at the moment. And he actually takes Rocket to the face, and it's all even up.
So I'm quite surprised right now because if you look at the scoreboard, Furton's timing out. We might just have to time out for a second.
Alright, it does look like his ping's actually gone back to normal. Seems like just had a bit of a wobble there. Looking at the scores,
looking at the scores, I mean, Burton is really playing well this evening, solidly. I mean, having the same damage output as Spaceman right now. Just 1 less in terms of score and death ratio.
Don't forget the 60% rail.
God's Hammer is, or has just taken the round. So, 1 up, ladies and gents.
Spaceman is actually rocking 37% LG accuracy at this point in time, and let me tell you, anything over 30% feels like basically every shot hits. And he actually managed to get a very, very impressive, excellent day, killing 2 players in quick succession of each other, railing the one and then killing the other with LG there. That was very, very quick. I must say, God's Hammer is really showing that their aim coming through, that they are very incredibly strong individual players. But I must say, I'm quite impressed with zFg with their teamwork. A little bit of indecisiveness every now and then, And unfortunately, Fulton goes down there because he was lagging and manages to throw a few grenades and doesn't actually hit anything. But George Quake just manages to land 2 solid rockets on Philip, and that stopped him. That was actually a very good span, stopping anybody coming through that area there.
So we're down to a 3v1. This isn't looking good for zFg as well. Gibgard has just landed a rail, managed to take down Spaceman, and unfortunately took a rail at the exit of Pillars. That is really unlucky. So Godzhammer taking another round there. It really looks to me that they're quite happy on bridge right now, because it's sort of, they're keeping zFg contained towards Pillars and slowly encroaching all 4 of them at the same time, and just pinning them in Pillars and then just attacking. It's it's quite interesting to watch how they hunt, because that's exactly what they're doing at the moment.
Oh yeah, just getting back to accuracies quickly. If we look at ZFG, Fulton's actually managing about a 57% rail. That's very, very good. Like you said, anything over actually 40 is really considered excellent. On average, the ZFG players are actually doing quite well in terms of aim. The damage output isn't really lagging all that much behind. VP though does seem like he's struggling a little bit. Now I'm looking at him, and then oftentimes he's usually on his own. And that's really something you want to try to avoid as a CA player. You really want to stick with a team and not do the solo thing, because that's the easiest way to die without being able to do any real damage to the other team. We have some heavy breathing on the stream from somebody.
Red wins the round.
Alright, scores have actually widened quite a bit. We've got 8-3 at this point in time. GH really showing their strength as individual players. Surprising to see that Undead with his insane rolls actually lagging behind a little bit in score. Damage-wise, only about 400 damage off the next player, but you can see that their teamwork is actually not all that bad. They are assisting players. When they're engaging, there's usually a team around. And Spaceman just landing some wonderful rockets and rails there.
I actually don't think Ander is playing too seriously at the moment. I don't know, I just noticed it in his playstyle.
Yeah,
not to take anything away from zFg at all, but he seems to be arse-farting a little bit.
So you can see the guys are very relaxed. They are sort of playing with their food, if you want to call it that. But zFg is not taking it lightly. You can see they pulled a few rounds back, and when it comes down to the push, like now with a 1-1 situation, it's Null versus VP. Null with quite a low stack, about 30 HP, and VP with 84. VP is, isn't relevant at this point in time where Null is, so this is actually going to be quite interesting to see how Null deals with the pressure.
Pete's actually got really good aim. I don't know if anyone or any of the viewers have played any CA games with Pete, but he's improved a lot with regards to aim.
Nice rail there by Null.
This could go either way, and right now they're both railable, so one shot is all it's going to take.
And
Null manages to land
second
it.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for zFg, but well done to Null. Scores 9-3 at this point in time, and as you can see, the zFg players sort of aren't sticking together all that much, which is one of the things that you do see from teams that haven't put in the same amount of time as, for instance, some of your older Quakers. But it does seem to work well for them with sort of not sticking together, working quite well for them, which is quite strange.
That's true. Godshammer just decided to make a push into bridge, and it really worked well. I mean, they've effectively cleared out bridge, and they're hunting, and we're down to a 4v2 situation. And Fulton, I'm sure, is going to go down here, and Godshammer have just taken it.
That's it. 10-3. GG's called all round. There's a few things I want to take from that game quickly. Well played to Null and Fulton, being the top DPS on both sides. Spaceman actually being tied with Null for the DPS delt. You can see some really, really good accuracy stats on both sides. Fulton rocking 51% rail. Null was quite up there with the LG as well. And you can really see the strength from the individual players coming through. On ZFG's side, sort of more of a a rackety bunch of bandits. You know, I would like to see them band together more. You know, spam areas a little bit more. And I actually just got kicked from the game.
That's those hacks, Peter. Those hacks.
Yeah, it's all my hacks, man. It's, the game doesn't like me much.
You back in? I need the password.
Viewers on the stream, just ignore the woman in the background. Somebody's let her out of the kitchen. So,
Sorry, folks. We actually forgot to mention to you. Always lurking in the background, like Darkwing Duck, is Tara Gobbs Lawson. How's it, Tara? And Aiden Klein as well. He's tinkering around in there somewhere as well.
Round begins.
Yes, I'm always here. I'm always here.
1.
The Dolphin, as we know him. But we are going to go live here on Hidden Fortress. I'm just watching some of the zFg players at the moment. So Pete's decided to camp it out in the underwater tunnels, and it's just been spammed out. So that kind of put an end to the push rather quickly. We see a God's Hammer player just charging through now, going towards center area. He's going to be greeted though by 4 of zFg, and he's going to take a lot of algae damage just going there down there to Fiat and give zFg take the first round quite convincingly.
some more trash talking. I love this. This is awesome. This is actually going to be quite a very different round. As you can see, the God's Hammer players really banding together, and immediately you can see the difference when they all work together. Give God going down that round very, very quickly to lots of rocket spam. It's a 3v4 situation at the moment, and I'd really like to see how how these guys start working together from here. George Quake actually going down as well. VP also down.
Null landed a fantastic rail.
That was a very, very good
amazing rail.
Round begins in 3, 2.
The God's Hammer have brought back. We're down to a tight game, and we see zFg pushing heavy in the center area now, just fighting to keep control of the center. It seems to be what both teams are quite keen on, or the area that both teams are quite keen on occupying. So George is taking up the rear of the map, and it's going to be joined by Furton, moving his way around to the sort of algae yellow spawn, and pushing back through the center. So I'm still with George right now, and we seem to be down to a 2v.
So he's actually camping the quad area, and he's actually got quite a good stack, so he should